So let's do our top 5 most annoying coaches on our schedule. And I think this list is going to be really interesting. Now, Chris, I had you start first. I'll have you go last this time. JR, I'll have you start first, and then we'll go clockwise again. It'll go me, then Chris. So go for it, JR. Number 5 for you.
Uh, this was such a hard list to make. Is the criteria of annoying? How did they do it? Is it like annoying to your fan base or just annoying in general?
And
Like,
you can get any reason you want, because my number 5. You want me to go first with number 5?
yeah, you go first and
Okay.
give
All right,
me a
I'll go
hint here.
first. Chris, you go second. We'll give JR time to think about this. He's struggling with this. He's so
I
see that's
am.
part of JR. You're too nice. The
Well,
older, the
I'm
older
not nice.
you're
yeah.
young. See, listen. This is how this is going to go. The chat's going to agree with me on this. JR, you're so young that you're still nice. The older you get, the crankier you get. So you're nice. I'm not nice as much anymore. And Chris, he's never nice. He's never nice. He's just so old. He's just like, get off my lawn on everything. All right, number 1 for me. All right, this is going to sound interesting, and I can't wait to crush him. Joe Moorhead. I'm still ticked at that guy running the same dang play over and over again, and we have no clue how to stop the run to the left side against Oregon when he was offensive coordinator there. So this year, I want a shutout against Akron. No points. Don't even cross the midfield. Nothing. Shut the door on him. I want Joe Moorhead fired after the game. That's what I think about him.
Give him the Herm Edwards. Fire him on the field.
Wow, I didn't even think about nailing Joe Moorhead because
Yeah.
Akron is just so insignificant in my mind that I didn't even consider putting them on the list. I actually went with Dan Lanning at number 5 for no other reason than the simple fact that I hate Oregon. I hate Oregon. I don't like anything about Oregon. I don't like their players. I despise their coaches. Give me Dan Lanning at number 5.
Dan Lanning is going to become incredibly annoying to this fan base. Mark it down.
Because
We're all
Pac-10 coaches run their mouths, Eric. And God,
well.
I wish Lincoln Riley was on here so I could blast him.
Oh, I know. I wish we played USC so I could just spit on that guy, but we don't, so he can't make the list. All right, so I don't have Dan Lanning on my list yet, but he was my next guy, but I really want to destroy Akron simply just because I want to see their coach fired.
You've convinced me, Eric.
Yes.
I actually, when I was doing this, I was like, is it mean to put Joe Moorhead? Like, I kind of hate him, but at the same time, he coaches at Akron. Can I really hate him that much? But just the thought of shutting them out, not letting them cross the 50-yard line, does make me happy. So, yeah, Joe Moorhead, number 5 for me. I don't mean to just outright copy you, but
That's fine. You can
I
copy my
am.
list. It's a great list. I ain't gonna lie. Number 4, Kurt Signetti. Who in the world does this guy think he is? On his introductory press conference, he's introduced that night to the basketball, and he puts in the same breath as Indiana. Indiana's going to go to Indianapolis and play for a conference championship, and he mentions Purdue and Michigan and Ohio State. Get my school out of your mouth, you insignificant person. You coach at Indiana. Know your role and shut your mouth, man. Sorry. We need to destroy him too this year. I really believe By the way, Indiana's defensive line's gonna be pretty good.
It's going to be
we
good.
just we just approved that message, but come on, man. You do not call out the beast in Ohio State, the team up north. And dude, you haven't even
Even
beaten
Purdue.
Don't. Like, come on, man. Like, at this point, I even want to see Purdue trash you. This guy, come on, man. Get out of here.
Okay, for me, number 4, it's got to be the man who defies time. Kirk Ferentz. Did you just retire already? You old ass.
You Jeez, Chris. He's even older than you.
Dude, the guy coached the original game at Rutgers. I'm telling you, he was on the sidelines as an advisor or as an assistant. I'm guaranteeing it. The guy has no offense, never has, Never will. I am tired. Now he plays great. Our coach is great defensive football, but you know what? I'm
It's
tired
not
of
even
seeing
him. It's not even
no,
him. It's the
no.
defensive coordinator who's a
But
stud.
I'm tired of seeing a team and the coach still have his job that has a defense that outscores your offense, and it's not like it's an occasional thing. Kirk Ferentz retired. Get out of my life.
Do you think they're so worried that they're going to be insignificant if he retires?
They're insignificant now, Eric. The only reason they have gone to a Big Ten title game at all is because of the stupid divisions.
They play in the West. Yep.
He needs to go away.
My number 4, and I think this is more for recruiting than actually playing them, but maybe he pisses me off when we play him too. But Dan Lanning at Oregon, I want to make every recruit that chooses Oregon over us. Not that there have been a ton, that one wide receiver last year, but I want to make them question everything about what did they decide to do going to Oregon. They went out to Eugene, where there's a bunch of mountains and there's nothing, and nothing for them after football. And I want them to reevaluate. Should I really be thinking about Oregon over Ohio State in this stupid situation? So Dan Lanning, I would like to make him and his stupid I'm going to stay at Oregon and build it forever. I'd like to make him think, I can't never win at Oregon and move on from there.
Ooh, I like that thought. Who has the dumbest look on their face at end of ball games in the Big Ten? Which coach has the
Well, now
almost
that
all
Harbaugh's
when
gone,
they lose, he's got the absolute dumbest look on his face. And it's usually because he can't figure out how in the world his dumb play calls didn't work. James Franklin. That guy, you ever seen him at the end of a game in a loss? Does he not have a punchable face?
oh yeah,
Ask
absolutely.
Penn State fans. A lot of them say he does,
I was gonna say, they don't like
especially
him
at
very
the
much
end of
either.
those games. And then on top of that, now he thinks he's a doctor because he slept at a Comfort Inn or something last night. I mean, come on, dude. How in the world do you think you know more about medical field and the player's health than the doctors do? That alone should put him on everybody's list. And then, do you think at the end of that court, when he found out that guy got all that money, he had the same look on his face as he does at the end of every game against Ohio State? Like, it's almost like he wakes up and goes, "Where am I? How'd I get here?" That's James Franklin for me.
I'll tell you what. Number 3 for me, I went Kurt Signetti here. You know, Eric, you pointed it out. This guy was a winning coach at James Madison. James Madison, come on. What do they play? Liberty? Is that about their toughest game on the schedule, I think? Come on. And you're going to go out and start calling out Big Ten teams? You're a joke till you prove it. You're the bottom rung on the ladder, buddy. Step aside until you start winning some football games.
Oh my gosh, we got the chat fired up now. Buckeye Blitz, good to see you tonight. They're only doctors. What do they even know? They only went to school for that.
Right?
Oh my gosh, I can't put that 179 Steely Matt, but that is funny. Okay. Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. That's my point. That you said it so well. Franklin always looks like he's constipated. Yes. That's what I'm talking about. He does. He's always like, it's like he's holding back. Oh, that's the best one so far.
Well, I've got something, but we'd have to have to waive our family friendly
No, we
rating
can't
there,
waive
so we're
that.
not
We
going
got
to
to
do
keep
that.
that.
We're
We're
not going
proud
to
of
do
that.
that.
JR number 3.
My number 3, and you guys already both said him, but Kirk Signetti, for similar reasons. Main reason is because stupid schools like IU believe that the Big Ten is low enough rung to hire a group of 5 coaches. Um, I would prefer that Ohio State kick them into submission, destroy them, make them question their existence, make Kirk Cignetti question if he ever should have left the stupid belt, and just
Stupid.
never hire another Group of Five coach ever again. I have to tell you guys, since I've started running this Big Ten show, I am appalled at how unserious certain programs are about football and the fact that they are making the same amount of money off the TV deal that Ohio State is. And quite frankly, I know my in laws like IU, and that's fine. They can stay in for basketball purposes, whatever. But for football purposes, they should not even be in the conference. They should not be getting the cut of money that we are getting or anything like that. They are not a serious program. I'm glad they hired a good G5 coach and not some terrible one, but at the end of the day, that was a terrible decision.
My wife.
Yes, I saw it.
I'm not putting that up there. Oh, we all have that word. Don't worry.
Well, I can't
All
say any
right.
other word.
Yeah,
We're trying
JR's
to keep it family friendly here.
Exactly. And who was it? Was it Mac? Bobby Mack. That's why I can't call in to the call-in shows Thursday night. Which, by the way, if you haven't gone back and listened to the call-in show Thursday, you need to go back. I actually cut out just the call-in from Alex
Alex.
and
It was
reposted
what's
just
bad is
Alex's.
it was so good though. I
Oh
mean,
my gosh,
he was on fire. He had us all pumped up, Eric.
he came in at 100 miles an hour. I like there was no like it's like when you open the door and he ran in. It's just, hi, welcome to Cullen Show.
He came
He
in at
just
100 and then
flying.
hit the accelerator. Oh,
Oh my gosh, that was great. Okay, number two. Now, JR, I know your number three had a little bit of a personal touch to it there, didn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. My number two has a personal touch to it. And Chris, you hit everything on the head. But my gosh, Kirk Ferentz. Absolutely. Listen, I don't feel sorry for Iowa fans. I don't. You guys are the ones who put up with mediocrity. You're the ones who sit there and be like, we're okay winning 7 or 8 games, and every now and then maybe we'll get 9 or 10, and we'll do this for 3, 4, I don't know, maybe my lifetime. You're okay with that because you've put up with it. But Kirk Ferentz has held that fan base hostage by putting his dumb son, who had no business being an offensive coordinator, in as offensive coordinator. And then when the school came and said, hey, you should probably fire him, he ends up firing his own son and keeping his own job. What kind of dad does that? What kind of human being says, all right, I guess I'll fire my son and I'll keep coaching here? My goodness gracious. This guy is as old as dirt. He should have retired years ago. Now, this is personal for me. I know a lot of you saying, who is Iowa? Who cares? And I'm not getting into the whole story, but let me just say this. I hope we never lose to them ever again. I want them to be the new Indiana on our schedule. It's an auto W. We will beat them till the end of time. You can just mark it down, start the streak. It's never going to end. I could care less if Iowa ever wins a football game again. To me, next to that team up north, and by the way, their color scheme's pretty close to theirs too. Next to the team up north, I could care less about them. Can't stand Iowa. And by the way, their fans are dirty, filthy people. Tell me I'm wrong, Chris. You know I'm right. We met them. We talked to them. Their trophies are despicable. Personal story.
pretty disgusting. Pretty disgusting trophy. I think you just want to win that trophy and keep it here, Eric.
I want to win it and burn it.
Burn it. Yeah, I'm with you there. So number two, speaking of disgusting, this is where I got James Franklin. He is just a despicable, deplorable human being. Not only is he an average coach, not only does he have the stupidest look in college football, as you said, but he's just not a nice person, not a good person at all. You look at what he did to a player struggling with mental health issues. Tried to yank the kid's scholarship out from under him. A kid who's already mentally fragile, and you're going to go and pull that crap. He's just an awful human being. I have no positive redeeming thing to say about him. He ranks right up there with Jerry Sandusky. He really does. Penn State, by God, you can pick them. Man, can you pick some awful human beings to let in your program. Eric, I am not even going to go on anymore. It's just, I'm going to, like I said, I'm going to go off of our family friendly rating. I keep talking about this scumball. So Franklin's two.
And his face always looks like he's constipated, as the chat pointed out.
Well, he is a piece of crap. So
My number 2 is the old hag, Kirk Ferentz, as well. He's stupid. There you go. Drink again, Sarah. I just similar reasons to Indiana. Like at a certain point, it's no longer the Big Ten West is no longer around. Kirk Ferentz is no longer going to be successful in the Big Ten. He's going to be facing more talented teams, and it's not going to go well for him. It's annoyed the crap out of me that in the Big Ten show that I do, almost every single person that comes on is like, don't sleep on Iowa. Don't sleep on Iowa. Iowa could be much better this year. And it's like, no, they're not in the Big Ten West anymore. They're not going to continue to play Minnesota. They're not going to continue to play down Wisconsin. Like, they are going to face teams like USC, Washington, Oregon, teams that actually try to get talented players on their team, and they're not going to be able to do anything, and they're not going to be able to get any more than maybe 8 wins a season anymore. And it's just the mediocre. I mean, you think Penn State fans are okay with mediocre? Welcome to Iowa fans. I mean,
you don't think 6 points a game is going to do it for you, JR?
Not against USC and Washington and Oregon.
And
Penn
I'm
State,
sorry.
Ohio State, Michigan, yeah, go ahead, Eric.
Iowa celebrating beating Iowa State is like Ohio State celebrating when we beat Akron. It's not significant. Oh, it's such a big rivalry because that's in state. Like, Iowa State is like, and the fact that they even lose to Iowa State at all is embarrassing to this conference, in my opinion. It's embarrassing. Like, come on. I am sorry. You are Iowa. You get the pick of the litter in your state. Not that your state is any good at all. But my point is my goodness, you should never lose to Iowa State in your conference. And they act like that is the Super Bowl to them. It's ridiculous. I'm calling out Iowa fans, man.
Mark Rogers went back. I wish I could find this video. But Iowa hasn't played like a Power 5 opponent in their out of conferent.
No, because they count Iowa State every year.
Yeah, they have Iowa State every year, and they're like, "Oh, this is our our out of conference opponent." It's like, no, this is basically a G5. Go play somebody for real.
Yeah, does Iowa and USC play? I think they do, don't they?
I think they do this year.
That is going to be
USC is going to rock them. Deontay,
you think?
Yeah.
Yeah, Lynn is a good defensive coordinator. He's going to be like Jim Knowles in 2022, where they're going to struggle against the really good teams, but they're going to be able to beat up on the bad teams.
See, here's my thing, and this is, I know we're getting a little off topic, but this is good because we all know who number 1 is, and we're just absolutely going to lambast him here in a minute. I think the teams out west who came in are going to struggle by the end of the season because they're not used to the physicality of this conference that's going to wear on them as the season progresses. I think they're going to start. Though? Yeah, I do. It is physical, JR.
I used to think that, but my word, some of these teams are just awful. Minnesota is like, oh, we're physical. We can do things. It's like, don't you have PJ Fleck? He wears way too tight of pants. You're not a physical team when your coach wears that tight of pants. It just doesn't happen. Wisconsin, they have Luke Fickell now. They're going to get more physical. Yes, I agree with that. Kirk Ferentz, he gets fat guys. Like, I'm not trying to be mean to the players, but they're not athletic. They're very big, and good for them. He has the occasional defensive lineman who is an athletic specimen, but that's it. Like, he has the occasional white DB that gets drafted. I don't know. I used to think the same thing, and then I started looking at it more, and I'm like, man, these teams that aren't, the team up north, Penn State and Michigan State, whenever they decide to hire a good coach that doesn't, do things on the phone, I didn't want to lose the rating there for a second.
Could you imagine if we could pick him for this list? Where we would
Right?
have gone?
Oh my
Oh,
word!
oh.
Yeah, I mean, like, guys, we have to admit it at some point. The Big Ten, outside of the top, sucks.
You know what?
But
This
you know
is
what?
gonna
That's every conference in football,
Greg
JR.
Schiano, Luke Fickle, like those are some of the only Matt Rule. I like Matt Rule. I think Matt Rule is
Yeah.
going to do good stuff at Nebraska. Like, those are some of the only coaches that are actually doing anything, actually trying to get players in the Big Ten. Like,
this is going to be a great case study this year to watch these 4 teams come in. My prediction, JR, is by the end of the year, they are going to be wore out because the Big Ten is so much more physical than other conferences. I think the SEC's physical in the lines, right? And the
Mhm.
SEC typically has better athletes who can run more than in the Big Ten, where the Big Ten has more beefy guys up front. But the Big Ten absolutely is much more physical than the Pac-12 ever
The
was or
Pac-2.
ever wished they could be. And
Yeah.
I think by the end of the year, those teams will be a little bit beat up, which is why my prediction of Ohio State, if we go out to Eugene and lose in Eugene, we will beat them in Indy.
Yeah.
JR does
I
not
don't
like
deny
that.
Ohio State's physicality or Penn State's physicality or, that team up north. Like, I don't deny their physicality. It's like Northwestern and Indiana and Minnesota. Like, these teams that are like, we're tough. We can do it. No, you're not. You stink.
Northwestern
Never good.
did stink. Northwestern shocked us last year. Come on, brother.
Not last
Right.
year. Northwestern did a good job last year.
Hey,
but
and if I'm not
the
mistaken,
year before they were like 1-11. What the heck,
has it-
Pat Fitzgerald?
and you're dogging PJ, and I get why, because no coach should coach without socks on. I'm
With tighter
sorry,
pants than my wife.
but has not Minnesota had under him their most successful run in the last however long, and he's won more bowl games, which is I think kind of the way you can look at
They played
conferences.
Bowling Green in their bowl last year.
Not Bowling Green, but before that, didn't he beat someone from the SEC?
I don't know. If you have Fleck coins on your football team, like, I don't know. This isn't Mickey Mouse's clubhouse.
That really bothers
this is
you,
a
doesn't it?
It
football
really
team.
does.
You know what? I'm gonna one of these days. JR is gonna go out to the mailbox. He's gonna open.
There's going to be a Fleck coin.
There's gonna be these Fleck coins.
Hey, you know what I did get the other day in the mail? Hold on, I'll be right back.
Woo!
I think I know what's coming. Should we go on or
Cue
should
the
we
music.
wait?
Cue the music.
Oh my God! I wish I would have known this. This is hilarious. If anybody knows what's coming in the chat, predict what you think JR is about to do. We've talked about this for a couple months. We haven't mentioned it in a while. I know Chris knows what's coming. All right. Should we go on, Chris?
He can hear us. Go on. I
right.
heard him in the background.
Number 1 is not even debatable.
Woo!
Oh, look how beautiful.
He's styling and profiling.
Stand up and give us a twirl there. Show it off. Look at that. Oh.
That was probably loud.
Oh my goodness.
But he's having a hard time keeping those alligators down.
Show everybody what's on the chest there. Look at that.
Can I get 2 claps in the JR? Woo!
Woo! The Ohio State Silk Touch robe. JR fulfilling his obligation after losing that bet. Nice. Hey, I gotta ask you, you're really gonna wear that thing, aren't you?
It's comfy, yeah.
and
I might
Chris,
wear it on every show.
Yes.
Tell me I won't, Eric.
Chris, where can our listeners get one of those?
Right here. And you can go on to the store site on the ohiopodcast.com. Order yours now.
Click the store, get one of those. And if you're a member, you get free shipping. Right?
Absolutely.
Right? So $3.99 a month makes you a member of the OHIO podcast. Get behind the scenes content, free shipping on orders of $50 or more from the store. Just head on over to the ohiopodcast.com website, click on the store, and get you your red silk touch
Now,
bathroom.
now I will say, unfortunately, it does only come in a large, extra large size. So,
Just
Eric,
for us
you,
big
More
you,
large
boys.
than extra large.
Eric, you and I will not probably be wearing this anytime soon. But for tiny little guys like Jr., it's a good fit.
Sean said, hey, hook a brother up, man. He's got to get one now.
Might go shirtless next week.
Ooh. Do not tempt the ladies. Do not tempt the ladies, JR.
Tell Sarah not to watch that week.
Well, if she does, she won't remember it because all the time she says stupid.
Yeah, just make sure she's drinking that time.
Oh my gosh. All right, guys, here we go. Number 1. It's not debatable. There's not even a reason to even mention his name. If you get on national television, win your first game as a head coach, and then cry, not because you won the game, but because your idol, Jim Harbaugh, wasn't there. And you get so emotional. Oh my God. We won for Jim. Get out of here, you wimp. We're going to destroy you this year. If you even have a job after the NCAA gets done with you, you cheating piece of poo.
Eric, you're right. There's no question. He's gonna be crying for a whole different set of reasons this year. One, they ain't gonna be seeing a bowl game for a long time. Two, their national title's going away. And three, their team is going to suck. He doesn't have Connor there to give him the magic clipboard anymore. The guy is going down. I'm telling you, he is going to be lucky to win 8 games this season. I think, 6 to 7 isn't unrealistic. The guy's an idiot. He's just an idiot. First of all, obviously he's an idiot because he's the only one who stayed around when the rest of the rats deserted the ship. They all knew what was coming. How can he be so stupid and so blind as not to realize it? I can't keep going. The guy's an idiot. He's a moron. Maybe we ought to send him a robe to wipe his tears. I don't know.
Oh my gosh.
And now he's stuck with Tony Alford. If that doesn't make him cry, I don't know what will.
If you're a fan of that team, you need to seriously question his decision-making ability by
Right
that
there.
move alone.
I did not like Mike Hart. He played for that team up north, and my opinions are well documented on that. But to let Mike Hart go and bring in this idiot, yeah, moron.
They're learning about it now. Did you guys see the board today? The Michigan 24/7 board.
Mm-mm. I don't like them. I just
they
make
are
videos about them.
so upset. One of the guys posted an update on Jordan Davison. Jordan Davison was at Michigan this weekend. By the way, he was liking Coach Laughlin tweets late Saturday night. He's since unliked him because somebody pointed it out on Twitter. But I had somebody message me and say, "Go look at Jordan Davison's likes really fast."
Yeah.
He was liking all of Carlos Laughlin's motivational tweets and stuff. It's like, oh my gosh. How bad do you have to be at an official visit to have them liking the other coach's stuff? Anyway, yeah, I have to ask you guys, when it comes to that interview, right? And I was just showing pictures of it. Who was more uncomfortable during that interview? The girl that was interviewing him or Blake Corum? Because that was also the game where Blake Corum had the blood coming out of his nose that, if a football player bleeds, Only guys up north have done that, guys. I don't know if you guys have realized it, but nobody else has ever bled during a football game other than the team up north, their players. They all changed their profile pictures to it. It was, a historic moment
Bet.
for them up there. Tough, smash, whatever. I don't know. Who do you guys think was more uncomfortable? Blake Corum as Sherrone Moore was crying on his shoulder with his head, or the interviewer as he was cussing her out with tears in his eyes.
Yeah, it's got to be the interviewer, right? I mean, I'm sure Blake Corum's seen him cry in practice many times before that. But
Yeah.
the interviewer was like, "Oh my gosh, the dude is crying in my interview."
He was having Jimmy separation syndrome, man.
Woo! I could go a lot of different ways there, and I'm not going to Penn State this thing. Leave it at that.
Oh my gosh.
Are you saying that she was uncomfortable?
JR, I'm assuming my Sherrone Moore is number one for you as well.
Heck yeah.
Oh.
Sherrone Moron. Gosh. It's not more. It's Sherrone Moron.
My Sherrone Moron. Thank you, Chris.
My gosh, that was a lot of fun. I feel better. Do you feel better?
We got to find something that's therapeutic all the time, man.
I feel better.
Every show.
You know what? I think John Kennedy's right. Sometimes it's just good to yell about football.
That's right.